If you're working with a very large data set like I have it here, and maybe you need to number the rows, you don't want to find yourself doing so manually. That's just not very practical, not efficient. Even if you use a formula, that might still be cumbersome and not very practical. If I have to go down now so many rows, that's just not very efficient use of my time. If you have to label things across columns, like let's say days of the week or months or specific dates, there's a quick way of doing so in Google Sheet. You can do descending number, ascending numbers. You can even do every so many numbers going up or down. You can do the same thing with days of the week, or you can do that same thing with the dates for different months going in the future, or you can do every so many days, like let's say every 7 days. The same thing for the days of the month. And a bonus, I'll show you also how to do it with the alphabet, which is more tricky, and how to do it across. You can also do that very easily with Autofill. It may work a little bit differently when you're doing it horizontally or if you're doing it vertically, but it's very useful and helpful, especially if you have a big data set and you want to do something quickly. So I will show you all of this in this video. So there's a few things you have to be aware of before you be able to use the Autofill. Like first, you want to double check that in Tools, Autocomplete, it's enabled. Autocomplete is enabled. So you want to have the check mark right there. Then the second thing is, let's say I have two numbers here, because what it does, Google Sheet have to be able to detect the pattern and then basically autofill the pattern for you. So you have to have at least two numbers or text or what have you, or dates, and that's how you have to get started. So let's say if I have two numbers, 1 and 2 here, if I just double click in the right bottom corner, nothing is happening. I actually have to drag it. I have to drag it to copy it over down. The reason why is because it doesn't know where to stop. If I have these numbers now, 20 and 19, if I just double click in the bottom right corner, now you notice that the numbers copied over and autofilled to 1, but it stopped at the point where it found the last data of row. So it has to have at least, Google Sheet has to have at least one column of data. So I'll show you here with this big sheet here. If I just put 1 and 2 and then I'll highlight it and then double click in the bottom right corner, it will go to the very end of my sheet, which is like 6,482. The reason why I was able to, because there was data up to that point. It didn't go beyond that. So you do have to have at least data point somewhere in a column next to it, because otherwise Google Sheet doesn't know where to stop. So here I have numbers, and every 10 I can go up. Here I can go down every 5. So you can specify, as long as you have two numbers specifying the pattern, Google Sheet will know what to do. Now let me show you here. Now here I have Monday, Tuesday, and if I double click in the bottom right corner, it fills the data. Now let me go back and let me do something here. And I'm going to try one more time. Nothing is done, because what I have these numbers here that I just put in slide font. So it kind of disguised it a bit so you couldn't see, but I actually had to have this data here, because otherwise Google Sheet would not be able to autofill. So you do have to have that. Now, once I have the data on the left, now I can use the autofill because it knows where to stop. You can do with long weeks, short weeks. Then you can do the same thing with dates. As long as you have two different dates, you can just double click and you will fill the rest. And so you can see that this works perfectly if you have going down the column. Now you can do it every 7 days or more. Like if I have 2 dates that go every 7, then if I can double click, it knows the pattern. And the same for years. And then I can do the same thing for months, for short, if I write it as an abbreviation or if I just spell out the month. Now for items, it will work because I have something on the right. So as long as you have something on the left or right of something, or like a list that you want to fill out, it will work. Now you can also do this across, so you can do it horizontally as well. However, it doesn't work if you just do double click. Even if I drag it and then the second row try to double click, it would go down. It doesn't know how to go across. So you actually have to drag the autofill to fill the numbers. So, it's a little bit more work, but it still works. It's still very helpful if you want to put dates across, or maybe every 7 days, you want a day of the month or days of the week. And you can do the same thing with any other list that you have, a numbered list. Now, let's go back to the alphabet. So alphabet is a little bit different. Alphabet, if I just have A and B and try to double click, what does it do? It just identifies pattern A, B, A, B. So it's not what I wanted. Now maybe let's put C. Let's see if this will work, if I put maybe more letters. And then it identifies pattern A, B, C, which is also not what I want. So actually with alphabet, the way to go about it, you actually have to use a formula. So the formula is equal char, then in parentheses, you want to put the row A65 for letter A, that's capital, and then close it, and then you can use the autofill as well. And you see I have the alphabet. Now for small letters, you actually have to do equal char row A97. And now if I double click, I have the small letters. So this is a trick with the alphabet. Unfortunately, it doesn't work just by itself. You do have to use the formula. Thanks so much for watching.